guys, it's the Carp here, back with another episode of How to Win Titles, and today we have the Italian Super Cup. This is the last trophy that I need in Italy, and we were playing against Roma, and yeah, it's been a very successful season so far. Only one loss and one draw. Unfortunately, we lost against Zebra, otherwise known as Juventus there, 2-1. Conceded 6 goals in those 4 games. Before that, it was only 7 goals conceded in 20 across all competitions. So, very impressive goal record. If we look here at the club history, you can see 20 consecutive wins, 27 consecutive games without losing. So, that was a very impressive streak there in Serie A and other competitions. But Juve did end the unbeaten one. But let's look at the transfers. So, made a few transfers, few from Bayern Munich specifically, my former club. One of them being Rudiger, no player exchange there, just 77 million, fantastic player. He's been good so far. Memphis Depay, actually brought him in for 51 million plus Eriksson, and that one's an interesting one because he's back at Bayern Munich. So what I did was, I actually wanted Serge Gnabry more than Depay, but Depay was a lot cheaper, so I brought him in for 51 million plus Eriksson there. He got 4 goals and 6 assists, and then I sent him right back to Bayern Munich. Obviously, a completely unrealistic player or transfer there, but this is a game, so I traded him plus 1.7 million for my boy Serge Gnabry, who has played 2 games so far, got 1 goal. He will be playing in this game, of course. A whole bunch of dead weight leaving, both from the reserve team and the starting team. Diego Godin, pretty old at this point. Pompetti, Bastoni, DeMarco, all just players worth a decent amount that weren't playing for us. And we also brought in Arrizabalaga. It is pretty easy to get a really decent goalkeeper if you just exchange your current one, who was Radu at that point. And Arrizabalaga had been very good since he came in. 14 goals conceded in 26. And obviously, 6 of those did come in 4 games. So, a very impressive record for him so far. Obviously, he's a lot better than he is in real life. And then the other big signing we made was Thauvin, and this was 10 million plus. Who was it? Plus Lazaro. So yeah, more of a defender really. I was fine with getting rid of him. We have plenty of options, and then one that's not showing up here because I think I completed it like just before restarting the season, while the transfer window is still open, and that is Ocampos. So really good stats you can see there. 27 years old. I brought him in for 26.5 million. He's played 17 games so far. About half those is sub. So 6 goal contributions is pretty decent if you consider that. I would say it's a good signing. He's still got room to to make a lot of appearances here. Depending on if I stay at the club, because obviously I may or may not leave after this game. We'll have to see. I might try to do what I did at Bayern Munich and leave this club to try to make a position elsewhere. Because that manager would leave to manage this club. But first, we have to win this last Italian title. And this is going to be the lineup. It's going to be Arrizabalaga in goal, Sidney at the right, and Rudiger on the left with Skriniar in the middle of the defense. And then Brozovic and Golovin in the midfield, the center midfield. We then have Gnabry on the right wing, Asensio on the left, and Thauvin in the middle. He's been very good since he came in. Really good stats increase on him there. And then we've got, of course, Lukaku and Martinez up front, 2 phenomenal complete forwards. And they've got great goal scoring records this season. And this is the bench. No one really of note there. Most of those players were here last season. Actually, all those players were here last season, I believe. Trezeguet pretty decent. Mahrez slightly on the decline, but still a good player. Ocampos has kind of replaced Vela at this point. Vela, he pretty much exclusively makes substitute appearances here. But let's get into the game. Super Cup final at a neutral stadium. Come on, boys. Played this once, won 6-3, but I did not realize that I had not pressed the record button. Well, I pressed it, but it didn't fucking work for some reason. So hopefully we can replicate that result. Although we do have an injury this time round. Last time Lukaku scored 4 goals, as we went on to demolish them, despite conceding 3. And there we go. He scored 1 so far this game. Oh, can he make it 2? He can from the penalty mark. come on, there's no way he gets 4 goals again. That would be unbelievable. But 2-0 at halftime. I would consider this a better performance. I'd rather not concede 3 goals. Even if it did mean we only won like 4-0 or 3-0. Do want to keep this defensive record while I've got it. It could have been a goal there. Another decent highlight, and Lukaku gets his hat trick. I'm going to leave him on just in case he does manage to go and score 4 for the second time of simulating this game. But I am going to give Asensio a rest. Let's get Ocampos on there. But no one else is really that tired so far. Thought we were going to concede there. Alright, it's a little bit late, but I'm going to make my final 2 subs here. It is looking like it's going to finish 3-0, but it would be nice to get 1 more goal. I will give Lukaku a rest, and Rudiger looks like he could use one as well. Actually, let's get on Barella instead. Barella and Zhang here. Oh, alright, I had to make a sub earlier for the injury. In that case, I will just get Zhang in there because Rudiger is very tired. Might have picked up a slight knock or something. But only 4 minutes of added time left here, and Ocampos gets a goal off the bench to make it 4-0. And I would prefer that to the 6-3 before, but there we go. So there is our Italian Super Cup. So real quick, I do just want to look at my manager profile so far, let you guys know what my stats are and stuff like that. Pretty decent manager attributes there. 5 for a youth policy, which isn't great, but this series isn't about youth like previous ones have been. First ranked manager in the world. I recently won World Coach of the Year, so very pleased with that. 443 goals scored, 98 conceded in 152 games, 130 wins, only 5 losses. Insane percentages. This is the best start to a career I've had. Granted, I have been at kind of one super club in their league, and then one. You would expect this to be potentially the second best team in Italy, but since I've come in, it's been very easy so far. Juve haven't really provided as much of a test as I kind of thought they were going to. 0.64 goals conceded per game and almost 3 scored per game, so very impressive there. 85.53% win record. So I would definitely take that. That's obviously across club and international competitions. But let's look at the my Ultimate 11. So Lukaku up front. This isn't the formation I play, but this is the formation that's given me. Obviously, Lautaro Martinez would be in this as well, but there is only one striker position, and Lukaku has been superior overall. Memphis Depay from Bayern Munich, Gnabry and Fekir from Bayern Munich making in there, Thiago, and then Eriksen, surprisingly. But he did have a pretty good year last time around. 11 goals, 14 assists in 39 games. Pretty impressive. Thiago from 2020 season, but Skriniar, Sydney making it in there. This is really the big surprise. He's been a phenomenal signing for only 4.9 million. Played 47 games so far. Been a solid player at the back. Decent stats, and he's made it into the best 11. And then Kimmich and Alaba, of course, they can play at right back and left back, but they have both played for center back for me in all actuality. So I don't mind it being 4 at the back. They do deserve to be in there. Although Radu. Pretty surprising. His stats have actually shot up since he went to Chelsea, but he doesn't have nearly as impressive as a record as our new goalkeeper. But that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys next time.